All right, today we're diving into a really powerful idea from the church building system. It's all about redefining those biblical leadership roles we hear about, apostles, prophets, and so on. And here's the big idea. For decades, many of us might have been misunderstanding their primary job. So let's break down what that actually means.
So, to kick things off, let's look at what the source points to as a fundamental and super common mistake in how we often see and talk about these roles inside the church.
Okay, the source comes out swinging with a pretty bold claim. Calling these ministry offices is a mistake. The argument is that they are first and foremost leadership offices. And look, this isn't just about splitting hairs over words. Changing that one word completely shifts the entire purpose of the role.
So that's the big question, right? If they aren't mainly ministry roles, then what are they? What's their real purpose, according to this model?
And this is where we get to the real heart of the matter. To get these roles right, we've got to start by redefining what we even mean by spiritual leadership. According to the source, here's the new foundation. Spiritual leadership isn't about how great the leader's personal ministry is. Nope. It's got two key jobs. First, you help other people find their unique calling, and second, you build the actual structure, the organization that lets them walk it out. This slide just lays it all out so perfectly. On one side, you have the common view, the ministers. They're seen as the main doers, which, if we're honest, can create a culture where everyone depends on them. But then, on the other side, you've got the source's view, the leaders. Their main job isn't to do all the work, but to equip everyone else to do it. It's a huge shift from dependency to real empowerment.
Okay, so if a leader's job is to equip, what does that actually look like, in the real world? What's their day-to-day mission?
This quote really gets right to the heart of it. Just think about the implications here for a second. A leader's success isn't measured by their own ministry performance. It's measured by how many other ministers they can develop and release. The primary purpose totally shifts from doing to equipping.
So how does this equipping actually happen? Well, it's not some vague idea. The source lays out a really clear four-step process. It all starts with initiating spiritual growth. Then, the leader disciples people to help them find their specific calling. Then, and this is so crucial, they build teams so those gifts have a place to actually function. And the final goal? To multiply, to raise up more leaders who can start this whole process all over again.
And the result of that whole four-step process is what you see right here. Leaders become what the source calls expanders and multipliers. Notice how the focus is on making people dependent on Christ, not on the leader themselves. This whole model of intentionally developing others is designed to build an organic, growing organization and really to avoid the stagnation that can happen when everything revolves around just one person.
But hold on, there's another really important piece to this puzzle. This kind of equipping leadership, it was never meant to be a solo act.
This quote is pretty direct, isn't it? It just comes right out and challenges that whole Lone Ranger leader model. The idea isn't to have one person in charge, but a team of leaders who share the responsibility for building and protecting the church community.
And this team approach has some huge advantages. It's designed to raise up mature leaders, what the source calls spiritual fathers. And that collective oversight, it helps build a truly mature church body that can then have a much bigger positive impact. At the end of the day, the team structure provides the stability and protection you need for healthy long-term growth.
So, let's bring all these pieces together. We've talked about equipping, we've talked about teams, but what's the ultimate goal? What's the grand vision behind this whole system? See, the end game here isn't just about running a church more efficiently. The goal is so much bigger. It's about fostering a flourishing, expanding, and influential global community. Every single piece we've talked about, from redefining leadership to working in teams, is a part of the engine designed to fuel this organic and kind of unstoppable multiplication. And so that brings us to the central question this whole framework leaves us with. When you look at your own church, your own life, does the leadership model you see build dependency on just a few key people? Or is it intentionally designed to create and release an ever-growing army of multipliers? It's a powerful question to reflect on. Thanks for digging into this with us today.